Hello, viewers on the YouTube and readers of the Flying Pages magazines and everybody who's interested in electric flight. The thing is, over the last 10 years, Flying Pages did bring you a lot of information on electric flying, not only in the magazines, but also through eFlight Expo, eFlight Forum, and other events where we had people live who could tell you about their latest development in electric aviation. These people cannot come to you in this days as Corona is blocking all the events. All the events are canceled. So we thought we try to bring you a little bit live connection with the makers of the scene. So we started the eFlight Garden Talks, which are talks about electric flying, all kind of electric flying, and we will record them from time to time. We will also cover the same interviews and panel discussion then in articles in our magazines. So welcome to the very first eFlight Garden Talk, where we have invited MGM Compro from Czech Republic, one of the leading companies in developing electric propulsion system for aircraft, and Martin Dvorsky, CEO from MGM Compro. Welcome to the first eFlight Garden Talk. Please let us know what your company has done in the last 10 years and what you're planning to do in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Willy, for a nice introduction. So my name is Martin Dvorsky. I'm from company MGM Compro. I will now share the screen and we can briefly go through the presentation of MGM Compro. So, can you see?
Yes, we see the screen, but not the presentation mode. Now it's on. Perfect.
So the company MGM Compro specialized since its beginning for very specialty electronics, and I will tell more details in the presentation. On this screen, you can just see that in past 30 years, we were one of the most pioneering companies to bring the electric propulsion into the various industries. The company was established by my father. He's currently the CTO and he's leading the development department of our company. And I'm currently working in the company as a managing director. So briefly, something about the history of the company. So the company was founded in 1990. And since the beginning, the company specialized for very special electronics. Always the products that we do are processor based. So always we talk just about the clever electronics, a lot of features and unique parameters. So the company started with the electronics for medicine, for the eye doctors. And funny thing is that we still produce some very unique devices for the medicine industry. And then in 1997, the company started to produce the speed controllers for the electric motors. Since the beginning, the processor control and most advanced one on the market, and then immediately the name of MGM Compro started to be known worldwide for the unique quality of our products. Then followed in 2002 with the controllers for brushless DC motors and a lot of other electronics for industry. So you can see on the screen just briefly on 2006 we designed specialty electronics, for example, for ovens and a lot of other devices. So parallelly with the propulsion, we do as well other electronics, but always we talk about clever solutions. So now something more interesting regarding the flying. So in 2010, we started with electric trickery aircraft for EADS, for the Airbus. And then in 2013, or I think it was maybe in 2012, we did the electric EPOS. It was a two-seater from the Czech company Inverter, and parallelly as well the Airbus EFAN. And then this was followed with a lot of electric aircraft projects that I will talk about later. And just what you can see on the screen is that in 2018 we started a project for electric ducted fan aircraft. So this is UL39, and the power is 250 kilowatt. And on the next screen, you can see that there's a boat, so you can see that we are doing as well a lot of stuff for other industries, like for example the boating industry. So just some brief figures. We are 30 years on the market. We export to more than 50 countries. We have our own facility, our own R&D, our own production lines. Our team consists of 50 skilled engineers and project managers. And of course, we all know that electromobility is currently on the rise. So something about technology, we are producing our electronics in Zlín, in Czech Republic, in the heart of Europe. Everything is designed and produced in our facilities using the latest technologies. We have the CNC lines from Swiss SMTech company, and parallelly we as well have some CNC machines for mostly for the prototyping. So we are not then simply we don't need to wait for suppliers and stuff like that. So before I will step into the portfolio of the company, I will briefly tell something about the propulsion systems. Beside the components like electronic speed controllers, battery management system, and contactors and other ones, we as well produce the complete propulsion systems, as very often the customers comes to us and simply they have a project for electric aircraft or multi-rotor or motorbike or boat, and they are of course professionals in their industry, but they are not, for example, skilled in electronics and electric propulsion. So for such a cases, we as well offer the complete propulsion designing and production. So on a picture, you can see just a few examples from the aircraft industry, GP glider, then some multi-rotors, as well Forvola, which was Guinness record multi-rotor at its time. And on the next slide, there are just examples of various power ranges. Something briefly about the portfolio of the company. Like I already mentioned, we are producers of state-of-the-art electronics like electronic speed controller. This is the motor management device, which beside many other things, controls the motor and communicates with other devices, has a lot of safety features and stuff like that. Currently, our portfolio includes the controllers starting from few kilowatts and ending with 450 kilowatts and going up to 800 volts, on request even higher. Then the next very important part of portfolio is battery management systems. This is something that takes care about the battery, communicates with master units, and as well secures a lot of safety features. So it's a very important part of every accu pack. These are just some of the, on the next slide, you can see just few of the variants that we produce, but we produce many various types of BMSs according to the usage and according to the final product where the BMS is placed. I will get back to the BMS. So we, for example, produce very specialty airborne types which perfectly fit for flying application. Yeah. These BMSs has specialty self-checking firmware as well. They have most of the important parts doubled to really secure the best possible safety level, and many other features, like for example controlling the fire extinguishing systems and stuff like that. Then, as the next part of the portfolio, we design and produce a complete accu packs. This means that the customers comes to us and we design for them from the scratch the complete accu pack design, including all the electronics. And of course, we produce accu packs from various chemistries like lithium ion or lithium polymer. This is always depending the project and requirements of the customer. So simply to perfectly fit into the application. So on the next slide, you can see other part of the portfolio, which of course includes the electric motors. We cooperate with many electric motor producers. Then the range extenders. This is interesting because our system can secure the highest possible efficiency of regenerating through the various RPMs. This is very interesting. So, and then the portfolio, of course, includes the chargers, industrial chargers, from few kilowatts, currently ending with up to about 150 kilowatt as automotive charging. Then we as well produce electronic contactors. We offer a wide range of accessories and as well a wide range of custom built solutions. We as well can arrange the propellers according to the requirement or a project of the customer, as we cooperate with many most renowned propeller producers. The company has quality management and is certified for ISO 9001, then as well for the safety of information, which is ISO 27001. Just briefly about the references, as you can see, we work with most renowned companies like the NASA, Aviation, Airbus, Siemens, Bell helicopter, Dassault, Cartivator, Nidec. So the portfolio really includes a wide range of interesting projects and really most renowned customers from various industries. And in this presentation, mostly focused to the electric flying. So you can see a lot of aircrafts are powered with MGM, MGM Compro Propulsion or MGM Compro components. And of course, in our research work, we cooperate with universities and armies. So briefly, this is about MGM. And if you are interested, I can as well show you something of the projects that are currently on.
Yes, we definitely, the latest product are on. We heard about that you're also going to larger aircraft. So yeah, let us know something about it.
That's correct. You know, within few next week, we will introduce the complete new line of the controllers. So this should be introduced within July. And maybe we can have then another video call just regarding the new products, because they will bring a lot of new features that are really very unique and will make the flying even safer and more efficient. So, but now just to the projects that are currently running, I think I can show you few of them in brief summary. So firstly is the project of the UL39. This is the project I told you about. It's for the electric ducted fan propulsion with the power up to 250 kilowatt. It's already running and should be finished within 2020. So within some short period, we should be able to present some videos and some information about the project. So this is running and we are working on it. The next interesting project is a hybrid propulsion unit for the ultralight or LSA class aircraft. This is based on a birotary engine. So we as well look forward to the output of the project, as it seems really pretty promising. And the project started this year, so it's already running and will be finished latest in 2022. And I would say the currently most interesting project is the EV55. This is the aircraft, the commuter aircraft from company Inverter, which is based like 30 kilometers from our facility. And the goal is to test and try the electric propulsion for this class of aircraft. Of course, there are some ambitious to be compliant with some DOs, but the project is as well on its beginning and should be finished within 2022 with having at least one complete propulsion unit to be tested on the ground and in the air. So this is, I think, currently one of the most interesting projects which are currently on. And parallelly, I can as well mention the very interesting project of our partner company, of our customer, New Space Technologies. We developed with them a very unique and redundant system for the eVTOL, which has just two engines with a vertical takeoff. So this is another project which is already running, and I think its outputs will be able to present them very soon, as there are of course some NDAs. Then this is, let's say on the next slide, I'm not sure if this is interesting, but as well the company MGM Compro is investing into their testing facility. So we are working on building a new testing labs for the batteries and similar things. So this is briefly it. I hope it was not too long, and I would finish the brief introduction of MGM with Let's Fly Electric.
Thank you. And I think, before I go to my questions, where I have several, let me also introduce my co-host here, Xin Guo, editor of the Flying China magazine. So Xin, do you have some questions to Martin's impressive electric history of the last 10 years? By the way, we can mention that he and his company, they also did win the eFlight Expo award in 2018 for their engagement, especially in the project together with Phoenix Aircraft, with putting in a two-seater electric ultralight aircraft into use, into business, with having different charging stations and airfields around. Perhaps we can talk about this later, but perhaps Xin, you are first with the question.
Yeah, hi, Martin, thank you very much for your presentation. That's very nice. I think your company profile is very impressive. I just have one quick question. So do you want to go down the road of certification for your by your own to certify your product, or would you like to go rather than hand in hand with the OEM, the airframe manufacturers to go certification road?
Thank you for a question. It's a good question. You know, of course, certification is currently one of the most important topics. Everybody talk about it, and we have various plans. Yeah, how to realize the certification. Of course, we are in touch with the companies who can really, like I would say, help. As of course, the MGM is industrial producer of electronics, but we are not like purely specialized to have the certification for aviation. What more, there is still just a proposal, not a fixed rules. So of course we and our engineers mainly look after these topics, and we are for a few years in touch with authorities and with the companies who focus for certification. So this is as well one of our plans, and like I mentioned in my presentation with the EV55 project, this is one of the main goals to make the product and at the end the propulsion be compliant with the appropriate DOs. And of course there are still options to work on it with the partners or just by MGM. And of course at the end probably it will be a mixture of these two things as well. The hardware and firmware and everything has to be according to these rules. So it will be definitely interesting and very nice work on the side of MGM, then as well our partners like companies, for example, Inverter or similar ones, to at the end be able to implement this into the real world and into the real flying.
Yep, thank you.
I have a question. When we're talking here now about electric propulsion, the question is, so you're not making the motors itself up to now, but what exactly is MGM producing? Are you because you showed us some batteries, you showed us some motor controllers, some battery controllers. So from where to where you would say this is the MGM part in an electric aircraft?
Yeah, as well a good question, you know, because very often, and this is of course understandable as people think from combustion engine, that the engine itself is the propulsion. But in an electric propulsion era, it's completely different, you know. Of course, the motor plays its important role, but the complete propulsion is something which is very complicated stuff, and it consists of many components. So MGM currently offers everything, except, or let's say produces everything except for the motor. We offer as well the motors, but we don't produce them yet. And so we offer you, let's say, everything what is behind the motor. So the propulsion consists then from a controller, a lot of wiring, you know, some main units, contactors, connectors, BMS, battery, charging system, you know. So this is really a long list of stuff that need to be implemented until the electric propulsion can be applied and can work. So unfortunately, it's not like that you just connect the motor and a battery and it works, like we are used from combustion engines. This is really something much more complicated, and to make it really reliable and safe, you need to have a good components, reliable components. You need to have the overall connections and schema perfectly made till the last details, and this is what we offer.
Okay. You talked about the batteries, because I think at this point, next to the certification, batteries is one of the crucial point of the development of electric aircraft, because one is safety and the other point is definitely the energy density. And there it is a question between the energy density of the cell itself and of the whole pack. Can you give us some inside view there, how this works together and where you think the capacity will develop, to which level it can develop in the next, let's say, 2 to 3, 5 years from now?
Definitely. As well, this is very interesting question, and always the Akku Pack has to be designed according the requirements. You know, I mean, as well, especially the consumption that comes from the Akku Pack, as well the requirements from the lifespan and other things, the conditions of use and the things like that. And of course, we all have to, as MGM Compro, of course, do not produce the cells. We produce the Akku Packs. We don't produce the cells. But we can work with various chemistries, and depending on the project, we'll always choose the, I would say, the best fitting cell. So this means that, for example, at the moment we can work with the cells that have in real the energy density starting from 190 watt hours to kilogram and ending somewhere with 260 for the real usage, for example, like the propulsion for the aircraft. Yeah, so there is, for example, lithium ion, the VTC6 from Sony, which is very popular, is something like 237. And for example, the cockham's goes somewhere up to 260. These are lithium polymers. So this is currently, I think, where we are if we talk about the cells that are really applicable for today's use. Of course, the future forecast is very good because there is a lot of discussions about various technologies that can come, but I think the most promising will be the solid electrolyte cells, and they promise something like 2 times up to 3 times higher energy density, which is really very interesting. So we have to hope that this will come soon. And on the other hand, we have to say that since the time when we started with this, just in aviation, you know, when I remember the electric EPOS, the electric two-seater, the first one from 2012, what we did Vector, you know, just in the comparison from that time to today time, the capacity can be at least twice higher or even more. So the progress of the battery is not that fast like we would all wish, but the progress is there, like on everyday basis. So it's going forward, and I'm pretty sure that within 2 or 3 years we will see really some interesting news.
When we're talking about electric aircraft, I think depending on the battery, the point is definitely where can we be with the flight time, because the battery energy density is a technical term, but for the pilot it counts how long can I be in the air with the electric aircraft. So I think you work on this Phoenix project. Can you give us a little bit short overview? I know it's not the latest project, but I think it's one where we have an aircraft where people can buy and where everything is ready to use. Can you give us some background on this project?
Yep. The electric Phoenix aircraft, it's really a nice project. I like it because, you know, they simply use at a time, I would say the best possibilities which were at the time. I think the project is like 3 years now running, and at the time the project leaders at the time asked us, let's say, what would be the longest flying time he can reach? Yeah, because we discussed with him some other projects, and at that time we directed it to the Phoenix, and this was always the dream of one of our friends, and he said that the Phoenix would be the best platform, you know, for longest flying duration with today's technology. And it's more or less right. As you can see, the Phoenix is something like I would say the two-seater glider. No matter, you can choose the wingspan, it's modifiable, but it's something like a glider, and, you know, more, let's say, motor glider, of course, for 2 passengers. And at the end, in this aircraft, we reached the flying time just purely on electric more than 2.5 hours, and then you can recharge it with automotive charging within something like 20 minutes, up to 80%. So this is really something interesting, which may be interesting for the end user, and as well, for example, for flying schools. So the Phoenix project, in my opinion, perfectly shows that if you use the electric propulsion in a project where it fits, then it's perfectly usable. So of course, I think we cannot reach today with today's rules like classical two-seater to fly 5 hours. Of course, this is not possible right now, but if you use it for the gliders or two-seaters like the Phoenix project, which is something between the glider and the classical LSA, then this really shows that electric propulsion can be very advantageous.
Okay, Sin, you have an additional question perhaps at this point?
No, I don't. I think that, yeah, that's all.
Okay, so I have two more, I think, and then I can let you go today. It's Saturday, so we disturbing your weekend. So one would be on the UL-39 electric trainer, because there it is the rebuild, the replica of a military trainer. It's a two-place tandem seater. As an ultralight, it's flying with the Rotax at this point, and you're replacing this with an electric propulsion system. How does this work? Will this be an impeller, or what kind of propulsion system is used there?
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is ducted fan. You are right. Currently, let's say this is the project of a Czech company, Sky Leader, or Ihlavan Airplanes, ZAL Ihlavan Airplanes, and the Czech Technical University in Prague. So they are running the project for a few years, and currently the airplane is powered with firstly it was with the Yamaha combustion engine, and the second version was, I think, from BMW. Currently, we try to replace it with the electric ducted fan. The power requirements are up to 250 kilowatt, and like I mentioned, in our project we work to have it, let's say, for the static tests, yeah, in laboratory. So currently there is not a plan to fly with it. The project should show that analysis should prove that such a propulsion can be done, and we will do the ground tests, yeah, because the project do not include the expectation of installing the battery into the aircraft and fly with it. But the goal is to prove that the electric ducted fan in that power range can be used. And so the project should prove that we will build it, and we will then do complete ground tests of such propulsion.
Okay, and then it will be decided if it will be ever an aircraft which you also can fly, or is this already clear that you will not fly it? It will not be flown.
Of course, this is one of the plans. Just the project itself, this was not one of the goals when we placed the project. It was really to prove that this power range and the ducted fan propulsion unit is like suitable propulsion for such a project, for ultralight trainer. And so this is the direction of the project. But of course, then in the next stages, we look forward to one seat flying electric. So we will see, and hopefully soon.
Okay, I think that's the next question. I think the EV55 is a very similar project at the moment. So you're not building at the moment the propulsion system that the aircraft can fly soon, but it is a proof of concept that if an aircraft could be propulsed electric. First questions, would it be that in the beginning there would be one electric motor and one turbine mounted for testing, or would it be from the beginning having two electric motors propelling this aircraft when it comes to flying?
Yes, well, you are completely right. The goal in the beginning is to make the proof of concept. And of course, after a series of ground tests, the plan is to do the series of flying tests. But of course, in a way that we will keep one turboprop engine, and we will replace just one of the engines with the electric propulsion to do the series of the tests. So this is currently the goal for the project with the EV55.
Mm-hmm. And the power range of the motor used in there will be something about 400 kilowatts or more?
Exactly, 400 kilowatt, because the EV55 is using two turboprops, each 400 kilowatt.
Okay, so I think for myself, for the moment, I don't have much more questions. I think, but it's such an interesting topic, so I'm sure we definitely will continue. I excuse to the listeners, we had some little noise problems, but I think everything is understandable. We will also have written down reports of this Green Garden talk in our magazines, which is Flügel magazine and eFly Journal. So happy to check it out. You will find the links downstairs at the end of this call. Thank you, Martin, for this at the moment. Thank you, Xin. And see you soon here on the Flying Pages Electric Flight channel.
Thank you, gentlemen, and I wish to all the listeners to follow your channel and to follow the electric flying topics.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Bye.
Bye.